Bang. Do, do, do. All righty, there we go. Beautiful. All right, everybody, welcome back to
Dog.
Talk Sports. I have returned. I had a lengthy absence due to a bunch of nonsense with work. I finished up school, and I'm still a little bit under the weather, but I have returned because I need to come back. I cannot just have to come back. King has to be back. The king is back, boys. The king is back. But this is the first time that all four of us are together in quite a long time. So this one should be a good one. I think the
Got
last
the
time
quad pod going on.
the quad pod is back. Yes. I think the last time the quad pod was a thing was it might have been like week one, NFL week one prediction.
Season preview.
Yeah, I think so. So
Been a minute.
it's been a minute. So, and these are usually the best ones, in my opinion, or the best ones in general. So yeah, we got a decent amount to talk about today. We're kind of go all over the place a little bit. No real script going on today. But I kind of want to lead it off a little bit. Because I want to hear Ray's take. I want to hear Dan's take on all the hockey stuff that's been going on lately, with both the Rangers and the Islanders being tied for dead last in the division for the Metro. I have a couple thoughts with the Rangers. It just sucks to see them be so soft this year. It sucks to see them trading away some players. It sucks to see them kind of breaking at the seams. It looks like they're about to blow it all up. And I don't know, I thought we were about to have like a little bit of a window to win the title, and that window is pretty much slammed shut. And I don't know if this GM is the right GM. Now we're questioning everything again. So I kind of want to leave it off to the hockey guys. I'm not going to do too much leading today because I'm losing my voice a bit, but I will sprinkle in thoughts here and there. So Dan and Ray, and Pete with his Penguins as well. You guys can go right ahead.
Well, the
Well,
Rangers are currently getting shellacked 5-1 by the Lightning, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
Igor has 5 goals against and 8 saves, and his save percentage for the year is a 615.
Igor,
Yes.
he took that money and ran.
I'm not saying his last name so you can mock it.
Dan,
bless you.
bless you.
You guys are absolute villains. Um, yeah,
There's no surprise with the Islanders. I mean, I told you before the season started, I had no hope for them, and they have to rebuild. So this should really be about the Rangers because they did have all the expectations coming in. I don't think anybody thought the Islanders were going to be any good. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. We kind of ended last year on the note of that the Islanders had a long way to go, and Sorokin is the only um, real thing on the Islanders right now. And if they don't put people around him in the offseason or make some big changes, then the Islanders are going to be in the pit of misery for quite some time.
Dilly dilly.
Is he a free agent at the end of this year?
I mean, I could just see him going either way. I don't know if he's a free agent, but if they blow it up, I could see them trading him. I mean, he's playing well right now, and he belongs on a team that's capable of winning.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, as far as the Rangers go, there's no explanation what's happening. I mean, the talent is still there. They didn't lose any talent, and now they're trading pieces away. Chris Kreider has one goal entire in the last like 8 weeks or something, and
Shocking. That
it,
is
it is shocking. I don't understand what's happening there. He was a healthy scratch the other night, which led to a lot of trade rumors. But I mean, you cannot trade Kreider. If you do, the wheels will come off and the fans will riot at the doors of MSG.
Oh yeah.
So I really don't know. I can anyone's guess is as good as mine. I don't know if the players are kind of revolting against management and just not playing to their full potential right now. That's my theory, and that's kind of what I'm bought into. There's still nothing that came out of the meeting with Sean Avery and James Dolan. So that's kind of up in the wings. Chris Drury's still at the helm, and nothing nothing good is happening. But I can tell you after tonight, it's the end of the second period, and it's 5-1. So
I
Nikita Kucherov is absolutely owning the ice, and it's sickening what's happening there. Jonathan Quick is now in net, and he's got no goals against him right now. So they pulled Igor um,
God bless you.
Shostorkin.
so
Bless you.
Ray, how do you, as a Ranger fan, divvy up the blame here between Drury and the coach?
So I don't know because at the end of last year I was all in on both. Laviolette is a great coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. And it's come out pretty publicly that the players very much support Laviolette, and it's not the players are saying it's not a Laviolette issue. The players are pointing to Chris Drury. They did call that players only meeting, and it was not about Laviolette. It was about Chris Drury and management. So that's why I kind of buy in on that theory of that the management is the issue in MSG, and the players are just not they're not playing. They're just like, F this. I don't want to play the game for this team and this management. So we're going to be mediocre. And it's not even mediocre anymore. They are a bottom feeder of a team. It's just embarrassing. There is no hope for playoffs this year. Their playoff percent chances are so abysmally bad. It's a joke.
Yeah,
Um, I want to see guys. I want to see young guys get called up and get ice time from uh, from the minor league teams and give them a chance to see what we got. But other than that, there is no hope for the rest of the season. It's bad.
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, and like I said, the Islanders, I'm just waiting for them to start blowing it up and sending pieces away. Barzal, I mean, who's untouchable? I don't know who's untouchable.
I don't
So
think anyone in the team
I
could.
think everybody could go. The coach could go. Everybody could go. Amarillo, you know what? It was nice to have Lou for a little while, and see what he could do. But it's time for new now.
Yeah,
Sometimes new is good. Sometimes change is needed. Yeah, I mean, I caught a little bit of the Devils Rangers game a few days ago, and I was like, oh Lord,
it was sickening.
this is
The
sickening.
Devils are really good.
Yeah, Jack Hughes it was just terrible. It was just terrible. Um, all right, nice hockey hour right there. Let's talk about baseball. We've had some signings the last couple of days. Mark is starting to pick up a little bit. Corbin Burns went to Arizona.
Love
Um,
that.
and a
Ty
shocker,
Glaber.
a big shocker. No one really thought that he would go to the Diamondbacks, but turns out he lives there. Lives in Scottsdale. That's his main hub. The
He
money,
turned down bigger deals because of the tax in Arizona is less than
correct.
other markets.
He's
Yeah.
gotten opt-out after 2 years. So
Yeah. And there's
Yeah.
deferred money.
He
It's
might just want to make that money for a couple of years and then go play for a winner again.
very true. Teoscar Hernandez back with the Dodgers, 3 year, 66 million, 23 million deferred. Um,
oh my
Detroit
God.
Tigers. Detroit Tigers took Glaber, 1 year deal for 15 million.
Moment of silence for Glaber Torres. Can we get a
Moment of silence.
moment's past? Glaber, you were a real one. A lot of
But
promise early on. What could have been turned into little league defense and picking dandelions while playing second base and running atrociously. But I did appreciate was a great teammate, always put the team first. And I mean,
He's a good dude.
good
Seemed like
dude.
a good dude.
yeah, I think he tanked his value. I mean, he played so poorly and had such horrible body language all year. He performed well in the playoffs, but I mean, for a
Too
guy
late
like
at this
him,
point.
yeah, for a guy like him to be only 27, to finally hit free agency and to only get a 1 year, $15 million deal from Detroit. I mean, he tanked himself. He played himself out of a deal. Um,
He ended up being the trade piece that won the Chicago Cubs the World Series.
yeah, and
Bottom line.
he never turned into anything special here. So
He's playing on a 1 year contract again. Less pressure in Detroit. Could pop off a big season. I mean, that ballpark is hard to hit in. So
It's a big ballpark.
that may be a negative on him, but they said he's already the everyday second baseman.
we'll
Wish
see.
him the
I
best
just think it's
for
I
endeavor.
just think it's funny looking back on it now and realizing what, you know, Cubs fans were probably saying at the time when they traded him for Chapman. Oh, we missed out on this generational prospect. He's going to be so good. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. How do you like a World Series championship? How does that? Good. That's why you trade your prospects for proven talent.
Yeah, because 90% of them don't work. They just don't. And Gleyber is just another example of a long list of Yankee prospects that did not pan out. And that's why I'm always all for trading literally anybody for proven talent. I don't care at this point.
Not
Um,
unless you think you have Mickey Mantle in
yeah.
your system. Do you rule him untouchable?
Well, Spencer Jones is the next Aaron Judge, don't you know?
Right. So I can't wait to see.
Yeah, listen, can't wait to see it either in 3 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Yankees, last time I was on here, Yankees got Goldie at first base. They decided to not give Alonso that big contract. I don't think the Yankees are really going to work with Scott Boras anytime soon. Um, but I'll take Goldie on a 1 year deal, 12 million. It's less than many other first basemen, one MVP at 35, which is kind of wild when you think about it, especially in baseball. Um, yeah, I mean, he listen, he's 37. I'm not expecting the moon. I want him to play defense. And even his worst season last season was better than any Yankee first baseman in the last 2 years. So even at 37, Goldie is an upgrade for the Yankees at first base. Still need a third baseman. And the Yankees apparently are in love with Bregman, but they're not in love with the fit. They don't think his bat would be a fit for Yankee Stadium. They love everything else about him. They're hopefully banking, apparently, on DJ LeMahieu getting healthy and manning for third base. So if that happens, I will lose my mind because his decline has been so evident the last 2 years. They have had multiple conversations with Jurickson Profar. They need
I
another
liked him.
they need another bat. They need one more bat. It's just that simple. Bringing in Freed was huge. Bringing in Devin Williams was huge. Cody Bellinger is huge. I mean, they've made some pretty impactful moves. They've been the most aggressive team in all of free agency since losing Juan Soto. But if they need to add one more bat. You know what? They need to nut up. They need to give Alex Bregman some money. I don't care if they don't think his bat is a fit. Well, you know what? They didn't think Jazz Chisholm would be a fit with the Yankees either, and look how that turned out. So,
I don't care if his bat is a fit either, because if you look at what they're doing, they're building a defense.
yeah,
And that's why I love the Goldie signing, even for a year, because it shores up that spot. Now we just need the other corner shored up, and I feel like we'll be good to go defensively.
I
yeah.
mean, if you're
And that's
going by defense, I mean, LeMahieu still plays good D. His bat is just terrible. But I don't know if that's just he hasn't been healthy in 3 years. So
He's
you know
also
what you have left at that. So
old.
you're going to platoon him and Oswaldo third.
I like, you know what? Keep developing Cabrera. Why not? He's shown flashes here and there. It takes guys a long time to develop sometimes. It doesn't happen overnight. Keep him, keep platooning him in there with somebody else then, even if it's Bregman. I don't care.
Oh, if you get Bregman, you're not platooning Cabrera.
Probably not.
No, he'll be on the bench. They should
Yeah.
cut DJ LeMahieu. I mean, they already plan on trading Stroman. Like he's going to get traded at some point. For what player it will be, we don't know yet.
There-
Um,
and him being traded is just getting the salary off the books.
yeah, they want to shed salary because they don't want to go into another luxury tax thing. And I hate this team still. And I mean, just look at what the Dodgers just do not care. Like, I don't know why the Yankees aren't operating like the Dodgers. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. And because if they're getting away with it, then why can't the Yankees get away with it? Like the two premier teams in
I
all of baseball just went to the World Series. Why are we not
the
acting like them?
the only thing I can think about, and I still don't understand it either, is that all these teams are looking at this and thinking that that's like undisciplined spending or whatever, and then it's going to come back to bite them later on or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know why more teams aren't doing it. I mean, the Mets did give a deferred contract to
It
one of their recent signings,
was Mania.
Mania. So maybe it's starting to become a trend. Maybe we're going to see more of it. Are the Yankees going to be the last team to dip their toe into that?
I think
Probably.
they're playing smart
Probably.
because they know it's going to be there's going to be some sort of ruling in the offseason about the deferments in the contracts.
Maybe.
Like
When's the
the
CBA
owners,
up?
well, not even just that. I think the owners are going to meet and be like, you know, you can't keep this trend going. It's not feasible because
Well, I
yeah,
don't think
it's
it's
not feasible.
Kick the can down the road. Screw it.
Hey,
I
if you have an ownership group made up of Magic Johnson and a bunch of other mega rich people, then why can't you get away with it? If if the CBA expires and then they renegotiate and they go, oh, this deferred payment thing is a bad look for the poor teams, and we need to make sure that the poor teams can compete.
Bobby
Well,
Bonilla.
this is how a salary cap gets installed.
Yeah, the more deferred deals that we see, we're going to see a salary cap in the next
I
CBA.
mean, look at the example of this, right? There's Juan Soto signing his contract, and then Luis Severino signs the biggest contract in Oakland A's history at not even a tenth of
Yo, shout out to Sevy. Get in the bag
Hey,
over there from the
Get-
Athletics.
getting a bag. He got a Ziploc bag.
Listen, in Moneyball land, that right there, that's a lot of soda money right there. That's a lot
Yeah.
of soda money.
That's Billy Bean calling up saying, I don't want my guys paying for soda out of the machine anymore. Give it to him.
And it's not like that owner can't afford it. They're building a brand new freaking state-of-the-art building in Las Vegas in 2027. So like I don't want to hear it,
he is historically the cheapest owner in professional sport in baseball, at least, but I'm sure in most professional sports.
The Oakland A's, soon to be the what, Vegas A's or
Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
Oh, they're just the A's now because
yeah, just the A's.
they're just the Athletics. There's no city designation this year.
Really? Is
Soon
it
to
just
be
the
Las
Athletics?
Vegas.
Or Oakland. But yeah, the Athletics is where baseball players go to die. It's the graveyard.
David Justice.
No.
Like that's how you know your career's over. Hey, you're signing a contract with the A's. Cool.
Just
Guess
for
I'll
one
just
last,
retire now.
for one last bag, one last little mini bag.
Severino is going to be traded at the deadline to the New York Yankees, probably.
That'd be pretty funny.
If he has a good year, I mean, I don't hate it.
I hate that.
I hate that.
That's who hates it. The optimist. I hate that.
Well, with
Breaking news: the Rangers have scored a goal.
uh,
Oh,
they're terrible.
It's now 2-5.
okay. Third.
With Pete Alonso still out there, and everyone pretty much thought it'd be a surefire thing to go back to the Mets, but there's
he wants like a 5-year, $200
million.
contract. Yeah.
And the Mets are like, listen, we'll give you 3 years, 90 million. And Unfortunately, like his market's very weird. There's not much of a market for him. He doesn't play great defense. He doesn't really hit for any average. He
I
just hits.
said this from the beginning.
Yeah,
The
no,
only
that's
thing
true.
the only thing that he provides is home run power.
Mhm.
He's a DH.
But again, last podcast before that with Ray, I said the quickest way to fill that 40 home run gap that Soto left out was with the polar bear. We did not go in that route. So,
They opted for defense
Has Goldie played first base his entire career?
yes.
Yes.
his entire
He's
career.
a Hall of Fame first baseman.
Do you think, in a way, that first baseman and third baseman are interchangeable?
Not him. In some cases, yes, but not
Absolutely
him.
not.
No, they're
I'm
not.
not saying
No
I'm
mobility.
not saying you're not moving Goldie to third, but is there a way? Is there a world where
No,
possibly Alonso still gets signs and plays third?
no way.
I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
He can't move.
Absolutely not capable of playing third base.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
barely play first base.
Yeah, that's
the,
true.
the Yankees, the Yankees have a massive hole at third base. I mean, it has to be Bregman. Like, I don't care. Stick it.
It's
Listen,
not massive,
stick it
but
to
the whole.
stick it to
It's
Jim
right.
Bregman. Stick it
I
to
agree
Jim
with
Bregman.
Pete. I wouldn't call it massive.
I think it's massive.
I
With
think
the
it's massive.
offseason, with the offseason we're having, where we're bringing in we were embarrassed in the World Series, and now you're bringing in just absolute firepower to strike back. Um, you're
DJ Mayhew, baby. Let's go.
go
I
go do
can't.
something.
Yeah,
Go eat a spearmint leaf for a little bit.
I'm with Ray on
I
this.
will.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
This episode of Dog Talk Sports is brought to you by Bowl and Basket Spearmint Leaves.
For the
You
third
want a
week.
nice green taste, nice and minty? Pop a leaf.
Well, Pete, save one of those for me because I am one of these Yankee fans that I want to see Oswaldo Cabrera grow into a position and become a star player. I think he has the capability to do it, and I'd like to see them give him a shot. And I wonder if that's
His
what this
shot was
is.
2 years ago. His shot was 2 years ago.
Yeah, but you know
And,
what, dude? It
you know
takes
what?
a little longer
Oswaldo
sometimes.
Cabrera was the hottest hitter the Yankees had. Not this past season, the season before that. So
I'd rather him at third base.
We're not in the
I'd rather
business of
him.
waiting longer anymore. We are in a business of we just lost a World Series. It's time to go back and get it now.
Oh, Pete, right. I agree. And if they sign Bregman, great. I'll be ecstatic.
Yeah.
Has
But
to, in my
I'm
I'm
opinion,
not
it has
going to
to happen.
sound the alarm. I'm not going to sound the alarm if they don't give Bregman a contract.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't think you sound the alarm if they don't sign Bregman, but I think there's other players out there that, other trade options you can maybe look at to fill that gap or hole. And listen, even if we go in and DJ is our third baseman this year, if he's healthy and he comes back to form, great. If not, then at the deadline, you better be making moves.
Yes. And that's also something I'm sure that they talk about because I'm sure they talk about it every offseason. Well, we didn't get this one plugged, so let's see what we can do at the deadline.
Yeah, well, because that's always
When
what they like to do, when they got someone free, just, sitting right there. Like, I don't care about these draft picks, bro. I do not care about these draft
Can
picks.
Spencer Jones play third?
no.
No, like the reason why I say it is a massive hole because there's no one in our system that we could call up to play third base besides Cabrera, but he's not even a prospect anymore. He's pretty
Ben
much
Rice. Let's put Ben Rice over there.
Ben Rice is a first baseman too. So, like, that's the problem. Like, there's no real way to replace third base right now. That's why
All
it's
right. Boom. Brainstorm right here. Why don't we go get Carlos Correa?
I would love it. There's been a lot of rumors in the
Yeah.
teams that the Yankees are interested in Correa.
Where's he at?
Hey,
Minnesota now?
He's in
yeah,
Minnesota.
he's still a good ball player. Go get him. I'd love that actually. He
I
might
would
be a
love
better
Correa.
fit.
Correa would be third base because we wouldn't knock Volpe out of shortstop. They'd ask him to play third, and then you put Jazz at second. I don't know how much it would cost. They probably would have to send Stroman to match the salary. Um,
Okay.
there has been
Yeah,
there's
send
been
Stroman. Sorry,
there's been
I don't.
rumors in the tea leaves the last couple weeks about the Yankees' interest in Correa. So
Well, what about this? What
he's a
about the
Judge boy.
possibility?
So
What about the possibility of keeping what's his face at third and getting a second baseman? Because he was pretty good. Chisholm.
I mean, with an off season of actually playing third base, yeah, I'm fine with Chisholm learning how to play third base. I
He
mean,
yeah,
wasn't great.
he never played it before. That was the
Right.
first time he ever played third base in his life
Yeah.
since Pee Wee ball.
I
So,
was impressed by that.
and he's such a freak athlete, and I'm so happy that he's under team control for like 3 more years. He's such a freak athlete that the fact that he was able to just play average third base at MLB level is kind of insane. I
Yeah.
mean, he's such a talented player. I still think he's underrated, even with what he did last year.
Who
So
has the better arm, him or Cabrera?
it's probably him.
I mean, it's a push probably.
It's a push, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say either one has a more elite arm.
Yeah.
I would take Carlos Correa in a heartbeat. I understand he's got an injury issue with his foot. You know, his foot's not exactly the best. He misses like 60 games a year now every year. But if he's healthy for the playoffs, that's all that really matters. And he's an Aaron Judge guy. You know, when he was a free agent, Aaron Judge wanted him there. That was the only time Aaron Judge actually did actively recruiting was when Correa was a free agent. He fucking took him out to dinner in New York City. So I don't know. So listen, he's a Judge boy. So if that happens,
The beer's on Zach right there.
so listen, I remember that very very distinctively because I was like, we need so
We did good, boys. We made it like a half hour.
there we go. Gotta like it. Gotta like it.
It wasn't me.
Fucking awesome. There you go.
Yeah, so where do we think Alonso ends up back with the Mets? Do we see a secret team like the Giants who are just trying and begging to spend money?
Honestly, if you're Pete Alonso at this point, would you want to go back to the Mets? If I'm Pete
No.
Alonso, the amount of disrespect I feel is next level. And at this point, I'm saying, see ya.
Mm-hmm.
Get me
I'm
out.
going to the Giants.
Right
This is Juan
now,
Soto's team now.
when this podcast drops and Pete Alonso gets that alert on his phone that the newest episode of Dawg Talk Sports is available, and he's listening and he hears Ray, holy crap, third base? Why didn't I think of that? He's out there. He's out there practicing every day. Bam! Stabbing balls on the hot corner. Bam! Making that fire throw to first base. That's what he's doing. He's shedding about 25 pounds, coming in just ripped. Just bam! Mobility. He's doing yoga, Pilates, hot yoga. He's doing it all. And then he's going, you know what? Let's go, baby. I'm here for New York. The New York Yankees. Sign me up. $15 million a year. That's it.
Cashman and company should knock on the door. As soon as they answer, they go, don't say a word. Just let us in. We have a video to show you. And it's just going to be the scene from Moneyball where they're pitching
Picking machine.
to play first base.
Scotty H. Picking machine.
Picking machine. That's what they should do.
He's going to be bam, scooping those hot corner. They're going to have A-Rod there. They're going to have A-Rod showing them how he transitioned over to third base. It's, yeah. Polar bear, let's go, baby.
It is crazy because I think we can all agree third base is probably the hardest position to play.
Outside of catcher.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd give catcher number one, and then third, the hot corner. Absolutely.
Oh my God. Polar bear at third base would be like those videos of the kids just standing in on the pitching machine going 105 miles an hour, and it just zoop, zoop right by him. As much as I love that idea, Polar Bear at the hot corner is not going to happen. Polar Bear is going to play first base.
There's
Probably for the
Keep
Mets.
playing third.
Probably for the
San
Mets
Francisco Giants.
on a 3-year, $115 million contract.
I think the Giants swoop in because they're pissed that they missed out on now Corbin Burns.
Everybody.
It's so funny. Like
Yeah.
the Giants and Blue Jays every year, they try to spend money, but no one wants to play there. Like no one wants to play in California, really. No one wants to play in Canada.
And listen, guess what? You know
Take
what?
half
I
your
hate
money.
the Goldie signing. I hate the Goldie signing. But if it keeps the door cracked open a little bit for next off season for that guy from Toronto to come play first base,
Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Vladdy's going to the Mets. Calling it right now.
all right, go call it on somewhere else then. Don't call it here.
Did you hear this from Rich Ditello?
No. I fully expect the Mets to go all out and sign Vladdy if Pete Alonso's not back with the Mets this offseason.
Okay.
Because I believe the Yankees are way more focused on the Japanese first baseman Murakami. He's the best infielder, and he will be posted next offseason. He is the best infielder from Japan in the last 7 years. So,
I mean, a solid Japanese player on the Yankees is the missing piece of a Yankees World Series team.
Yes.
All right, so bring back Tanaka. He's available.
Yes.
Naka Tuesdays, man.
because Vladdy's a great first baseman. He could play great defense, but he's going to be DH in a couple years.
Could we check to see if I'm sorry. Could we check to see if Hideki Matsui has a son anywhere who plays baseball and wants to play for the Yankees? Because that guy was clutch. That was one of the best Japanese players I've ever seen.
Godzilla.
I think the Yankees very much their plan is to throw the bag at that kid, and I would not be opposed to it. They also had a meeting with Roki Sasaki. Everyone still thinks he's going to the Dodgers, but apparently the meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say every team in the league has pretty much had a meeting with Roki Sasaki. So
yeah,
listen,
it's a hard market to get it to get a Japanese player to the East Coast. It's such a hard sell.
It is.
Pitchers are either really good or not good at all.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, but when they first started coming over, the Yankees were the destination because we were the Yankees.
We were the mecca of baseball. That's why we had Eki Arabu, and he was
exactly. He was terrible.
R.I.P.
He was a prize pick that year. We were
and
getting
George
those
Steinbrenner,
players.
who valued winning over life,
Yep.
did everything in his power to make sure he was a Yankee.
Yep. So I don't want to hear that. Oh, why not? You know what? These guys always picked the Yankees when we were kids. Now they don't, and that to me is
because the Dodgers
the difference in the
Well,
management.
you can thank Shohei Ohtani for that one.
Yes, the Dodgers now are what the Yankees were when we were kids.
It's going to take one guy though to be like, no, I'm not just going to go team up with Ohtani. I want to play against Ohtani in the World Series. So once we get that guy,
Ohtani's neighbor that always finished second to him, maybe he's ready to come play in our and shove it to Ohtani.
Yeah,
hey, maybe it's Merikawi.
Did we see Ohtani's translator's shirt on Christmas?
No.
Oh, go. New translator or old translator that took the fall?
The one that took the fall. It was a Christmas shirt that said Ohtani did it.
There's no way.
Dude, I will find it. Continue.
I was going to say that needs to be put on this podcast immediately. Like you need to put that up to the screen because no, I did not see that.
I didn't see that at all. I didn't even hear about it on the social spaces of the X. Because usually I'm
not on the X. Quiet.
The X is a very negative space.
Yes.
So
Also, BYU is pummeling Colorado right now.
Yeah. Is Shador and Travis Hunter even playing in this game?
yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Shador is
that's
tanking his stock right now so
oh,
that the Giants don't pick him.
that's really bad that they're losing that game like that.
Yeah, it's definitely he definitely doesn't want to play for the Giants as he's wearing Giants cleats.
That's the
Did
most
he have
giant
Gi-
thing.
did he is it true that he had Giants custom cleats made?
There you go.
Is that true? Okay.
The logo's on it. He even
Okay.
put the Giants logos on it.
Fair enough. I saw it today and I was like, I don't know if that's true or not. Ask Zach.
All right, this
Cam Ward,
this
Cam Ward did look better though.
There it is.
Oh my God.
Yo.
Is that real or is that fake?
AI is a wild thing,
I
so
was
we
about,
cannot
Okay.
confirm or
I was about
deny.
to say that's definitely AI. There's
We
no
we
way.
need we need somebody to put that through some kind of inspection and
Hey,
clarify
I'll bet a
and
paycheck.
confirm whether that's real or not.
I'll bet a paycheck, bro. That's fucking
Not
AI.
listen. That
It's
is
probably
That
not.
ain't real.
right now. If that's real, there's a sniper right now outside
Hey,
of
isn't he in a
his-
jail cell? Isn't he in his jail
Yeah,
cell?
isn't he in prison?
Nah, you don't get prison time. He's Tani got him out.
Yeah, he's in Japan, probably living the life right now, that guy. It's like, nice job taking the fall.
What a
Yeah,
good fall guy.
you
Go
saved-
enjoy your mansion and never having to do anything again.
they saved international baseball relations. But yeah,
What
I
a
mean,
crook.
yeah, totally.
What a crook.
Um, but yeah, you know what? If the plan is for the Yankees to go after that Japanese kid, then I'm sure they won't let money be a factor because he wouldn't command nearly as much as Vladdy, and he's already probably a better infielder than Vladdy. So we'll see what happens. That's down the line. We'll
This
take
was a beautiful way to celebrate the baseball solstice.
It
yeah.
is.
We are halfway from the last pitch of the World Series to pitchers and catchers reporting.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. I can't wait now.
Baseball has the shortest off season. I keep forgetting that. And
I can't wait for that opening day beer, that first one over there on the Toyota Terrace. That's going to be.
Are you sure about that? Because hockey ends in like June and there's games in October.
well, the NBA is like that too. They end in June and there's games in October.
Yeah.
That's why their off season ends in 3 days. I don't know. Yeah, because June, July, August, September. It's like the end of October though. So yeah, it's 4 months.
Well, there's preseason games in September for hockey.
Yeah.
And there's preseason games for basketball.
And for basketball.
And there's the basketball also has summer league for the kids. So well. Who
For the
cares?
kids.
Who cares about basketball? Basketball is a horrendous product right now.
The Knicks are pretty good.
Yes,
If it wasn't
I agree.
for the Knicks, good lord.
I agree. I
Would you
agree
ever
that
watch a
basketball is a
basketball game?
horrendous product, but the Knicks are good and they are fun to watch.
Listen, Dallas Mavericks, baby. When they get Jimmy Butler, look out.
Well, they better get him soon because your boy Luca's out a month.
That's fine. We're 7-3 right now in the last 10 games.
Listen, I'm sure they'll stay afloat. I'm sure they'll be fine.
You know what, bro? These NBA players are made out of glass, man. How many big time injuries to these star players this year? KD, same injury again. Kawhi can't
Not
even see the
Jalen.
court. Kawhi can't even see the court. Luka's getting hurt. Jimmy's been hurt. Like, it's just so ridiculous, man. Like,
Kawhi is made out of
Oh,
tissue paper.
it's such a
Wet tissue paper.
Joel Embiid can't stay on the court either.
oh, he's a joke. I'm so sick of him. What a big baby he is. Like, come on, man. Like, no. Does anybody even have respect for this guy in the NBA anymore?
I don't think so.
Trust the process.
I mean, Paul George can't stay healthy either. Like, this is what I'm talking about. The
They're
NBA is
all
such a
What about
they're
problem.
that
all
kid for
that,
the
that
Pelicans?
video of the guy shaking the chicken leg that's been barbecued and slow roasted, and the meat just falls right off the bone. That's all they are.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
there's nobody. It's just a horrible product. It's a horrible product, and it's so hard to watch. They really,
The
really
fact that they needed to put this NBA Cup thing in there,
is
which
terrible.
devalued their regular season like immediately, and it's because they needed to try to get control the player rest or whatever. It's really embarrassing, and
Well,
it is
now
a
the
joke.
players
And
union. I don't know if you read this, Dan, but the players union now wants to get rid of conferences. They want to do 1 to 16 seeding in the playoffs. They don't want.
Oh
oh,
my god.
oh,
Yeah,
really?
they don't want to do 1 to 8 per conference. They want to do straight 1 to 16 seeding.
So they want to continue to devalue their league. Perfect. And did you hear what LeBron said? Oh, the Christmas is still an
Oh,
NBA
I
day.
love that.
Not
NBA.
according to the viewers, it isn't.
All right, yeah.
I
They've
wasn't even
got
close.
like 2.5 million people, or like 4 million people. The NFL averaged 25 million people watching per game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can
So
eat those words, LeBron. It's no longer an NBA day. It used to be. It's no longer an NBA day.
the problem with the NBA is their players are paid more and guaranteed money than any other sport, maybe
Too
besides
much.
football. They're paid way, way too much. The highest paid player in the league is Jaylen Brown. He's making 65 million a year to be the second best player on his team. It's a totally players run league. The players completely run the show. The owners just let them do whatever they want because everyone comes to see them. But then the players sit for half the year. They only want to play for the playoffs. Like I don't know how you fix the NBA anymore because the game has changed so much from just when I started watching it in the early 2000s. Like we always talk about how the
Thank
game.
LeBron for that.
Yeah, we could thank LeBron. We could thank Steph
Yep.
Curry for that, for doing nothing but shooting threes. Like the game has completely changed into an unwatchable product. I mean, it's their ratings are down 48% just from 2020. It's
I
crazy.
don't think it's the volume of threes that's hurting the game. It's the player rest thing that's it. Who wants to buy season tickets and take your kids to go to games and you don't even know if the star players are going to play? It costs a lot of money to go to these games and buy stuff for these kids. So, you know, uh, they need to they needed to figure out a different way to get rid of the player rest days that don't make any sense. Either do that or shorten your regular season
Well,
because
what they did
everything they're doing
was
now doesn't make sense.
the one thing that they tried to combat it is if they instituted a new rule that went into effect this year called the 65 game rule. If any player misses enough games where they cannot play 65 games in the season, they are not eligible for any major awards. So that was supposed to incentivize all the stars to like, listen, like don't be resting back to backs if you want to win an MVP this year, like because they need to play at least 65 games. That is a very good rule in my opinion.
That's a good rule.
I just don't know,
Yes,
Should
if
be harsher. It should be if you don't
it
play that
should be.
amount of games, you should be ineligible to play the playoffs.
Unless you really get hurt, unless you are on an injury report,
yeah,
right?
it's like a legitimate like soft tissue injury instead of just rest or just they need to
Yeah.
do something. And Charles Barkley is right.
Yes,
They
he is. He's always right. And
because they
yeah,
got some bums making money and they all think they're,
I love Charles
I
Barkley.
love
I
Charles
he is
Barkley.
the man. We'll
He's
always
always
love him.
he's the man. He's always right too. He's always right.
Yep,
Everything he
he
says.
is.
So that was my little NBA rant. I'm glad the Knicks are good. If the Knicks weren't good, I mean, I don't even think we would ever talk about basketball.
Well, Mikal Bridges is starting to wake up too. That's also a really huge, huge thing for the Knicks. If they could start getting him to play like what he's been doing recently, they are absolutely a top two team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, he really needed to wake up because he really wasn't really doing a whole lot. and he's had a couple of 40-point games now for them. He's a good player. Nets fans know he's a good player. Um, Listen, I'll take the pick.
Villanova fans know he's a good player.
Villanova
Ugh,
fan,
Vanilla Nova.
Vanilla
Vanilla.
Nova. I mean, I think what's so funny as a Nets fan right now is they were winning too many games, so they had to trade Dennis Schroeder away because they were winning too many games. It wasn't the tankathon wasn't going according to plan, so they sent
Is
him
Cooper Flag still the prize?
Cooper. Oh, it could be Ace Bailey. It could be one of the two kids from Rutgers. Uh,
Oh yeah,
Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. Those guys are superstars. Then they're both playing at Rutgers right now. That building is packed.
really?
Home game, yeah. Dylan Harper, which is Ron Harper's kid.
Oh,
Um,
I know Dylan Harper. Are they actually going to make the tournament and make some noise this year?
they are 100% making the tournament, and they will 100% make some noise. They are the best.
Okay,
They're the best duo in college basketball.
go Rutgers hoops.
Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, and Dylan Harper will go one in any order that you want to call it, 1, 2, or 3. The good thing for the Nets right now is under this new lottery rule.
Jalen Brunson put up 55 points tonight.
Good.
Let's go. What a beast. That guy doesn't take days off.
Nope. We need more Jalen Brunsons in the NBA. Yeah. So they traded Schroeder away to Golden State for 4 second-round picks. And now they're letting even more kids to just play and hope.
The compensation when it comes to NBA trades is the most ridiculous thing.
It's ridiculous. It's
I'm
so
gonna
lopsided.
trade you 5 first-round picks. 3 of them are lottery protected. If this guy blows his load and drops a fucking knee, then you get 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, it's wild how they structure
It
their.
is. And you have to make the money match and all that. Yeah. It's trading in the NBA has always been wild.
Yeah, getting
3-way trades, 4-way trades.
Yeah, and that's got 7 picks for Durant. They got 5 picks from Mikal. Like, it's just wild. Like, it makes
it's the 2037 NBA lottery pick, and this pick has been traded 3 times, and
yeah, like if you're the Nets GM, you traded for all these picks that are like years down the road. You don't even know if you're going to be making those picks.
Yeah, like
they weren't
the league closed down by then. Like this is like the wildest scenarios.
Well, they're not years down the line. They're the next 4 years in a row.
Years down the line. I mean, the GM could get fired next year. The GM could get fired in 2 years.
That's of course.
What does that guy care? He's not gonna. Yeah.
But to answer your original question, Dan, is Cooper Flag the prize? Right now, yes. He's still he's not really making, like, he's playing pretty well for Duke right now. He's not splashing at Duke right now. Like, he's not dominating at Duke. Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper are dominating at Rutgers right now. So depending on positional need, and if the Nets end up getting the first overall pick, I don't think they will at this point, because even with trading Dennis Schroeder, they still beat the Bucks last night. So it's, you know what it is? This new coach that they got, Jordi Fernandez, is the real deal. Like, he's getting these ragtag kids to beat up on teams like the Bucks. So I expect them to pick maybe 3rd or even 4th. And if that's the case, if you're picking top 3, you're guaranteed to have one of those 3 guys. And all those guys are franchise cornerstone players. Of course.
And the Nets need a player like Adam Morrison. That's what they need. They need Wonder from Gonzaga to really take them to the next level.
They need what's-his-face from Milwaukee back, their center.
Oh, Brook Lopez?
Brook Lopez.
Listen, his number...
That would be awesome if they got him back.
His number 11 will be retired, so I'm totally cool with it.
Does he still have the afro?
No, he hasn't had the afro in years.
That's the problem.
Yeah, he needs to bring it back.
It's
he had like
Sideshow Bob afro back.
Oh, I think is he confusing Jared Allen with Brooke Lopez?
Oh, you are confusing Jared Allen, which the Nets should get him back too, because
No,
isn't
I'm
he
talking
pretty
about
good?
the curly hair.
Oh, listen, I love the fro. The fro
Oh,
and
do you mean his brother,
Robin?
Robin.
Robin
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lopez?
Robin never
He
played
had
for
the
the.
big frizzy
yeah,
hair, like
that
the
guy.
big long frizzy hair.
Oh, they need to get Brooke to grow out like his brother had.
Listen, as a Nets fan, love me some Brooke Lopez, all-time leader. And
Yep, there he is.
yeah, there you go. There we go.
That's what you need. You need side. Wait, hang on, Ray. Keep that up.
Look at that hair. That's wonderful.
That that right there.
That is amazing.
That's exactly what you need. Right?
I love it.
I love that we got a Simpsons reference in.
Imagine you have a twin brother, and that's the hair he grows out.
Listen, that's
Yeah.
a way to tell that, who's who. Oh, this guy,
Yes.
the one with which one you looking for? The crazy hair one or the normal hair one?
That'd be like if I had a twin and he was like Fabio.
Rizzo, this shout out right now to everyday listener Michael Rizzo. This is your opportunity right now to screenshot this. Right? Look up, smile.
No.
There you go. I'm going to send this to you right now, and you're not even listening, but you know what to do with this picture.
Do your magic, Mr. Rizzo.
Dude,
Anyway,
magic. All right. Anyway, let's dabble into some foosball. We had some pretty exciting games over the holiday weekend here. Week 16. I'm not really going to go over all of them because we had a
but
couple.
I want to put a shout out to the worst fantasy football loss in history.
Seen worse.
Go
Have you
ahead.
seen worse? I've never experienced worse.
Let's hear it. Go ahead. Cat's out of the bag.
4 points. 0.4 points.
And I'm assuming that you fell victim to the 0.4 points.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
rough, man.
Yes.
Moment of silence.
Those sounds.
Moments
Moment
past.
passed.
It's past. Well, listen, you could be me and score 150 and not be enough to win.
Ooh. Ouch. Yeah, that hurts.
That's terrible.
Listen, you know it hurts? Being in the championship game and Lad McConkey going off. And then how about also being up against Toss My Salah, fired off Cortland Sutton, who would have been all right, would have been like 10 points, but then the Cincinnati Bengals couldn't run the clock out, so they got the ball back and they got like 4 extra points to them. So, and right now, Kyron Williams scored a stupid 1-yard touchdown. It's not looking good for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now.
The three-peat is not on.
I'm so sorry.
In a league where I've hit the ship in the championship game 3 out of 5 years, trying to put the cherry on top today.
Yeah.
You've been heating up though.
I am going to bring one ship home this year. 1 third place finish, 1 fifth place finish.
Yeah, I'm vying for third right now in my league here because scoring 147 was not enough to advance to the finals. So,
I've been awful. So every year I just feel like I'm just throwing in a benefit to whoever ends up winning it. But
shout out right
The
now
once great Doom Troopers.
to the big nasty ball sacks making his first ever league championship final. Brian Pikowski, you probably aren't listening, so
well done.
pardon my French right now. F off for not listening. But I do hope you beat sometimes casual listener Muddy Marshmallows because that guy's won enough.
Oh,
he wins
please.
every year.
We will never hear the end of it.
He wins
horrid
games like every
winner.
year. I don't understand it.
Oh my God.
I mean,
I don't either.
I went 8-6 and I missed the playoffs. So I was like, ugh, terrible. Like imagine going 8-6 and not making the playoffs. Terrible.
Yeah.
Um, so I think we should, in terms of football, we're going to go through our end of the year awards here because we feel pretty confident in who deserves it. Do we want to start off with that, or we want to hit some points?
Yeah, no, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
let's do it.
we
Do it.
cover
Our
it
points will
all.
come out in our.
Let's hit the end of the
Yeah.
season awards right now. Everyone, get your bow ties out. It is award time.
All right, MVP. This will be our football segment, pretty much. So, MVP. Who is your guys' MVP for the 2024 season? I already know who Ray's going to say, but
Drum roll, please. All right. For me, Josh Allen. Nope, not it.
Oh,
Wrong. Not him. Even though 3,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 500 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns. Hell of a year. Hell of a year.
oh, monster year.
Monster year. The Raiders would kill for a year like that, but not this year. Not this year. Lamar Jackson, 39 passing touchdowns, 3,900 yards, 4 interceptions, 800 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. He would be my MVP, third MVP for Lamar. But there's a guy. Started off the year, blonded out his hair. It's frigid in Cincinnati. And after the performance that he did today, Joe friggin' Shiesty is my MVP. As of today, 4,600 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He has 2 touchdowns on the ground. In his last 8 games, he has had at least 3 touchdowns and 250 yards passing. Let that sink in for a second. The only way he's not going to be MVP is if Cincinnati doesn't make the playoffs, and there's a good chance that they don't make the playoffs, and then I'll fall back on Lamar. But what Joe Burrow is doing for that trash-ass team is they would have 0 wins if it wasn't for Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
very fair.
It's very difficult to argue against any one of those guys. I could understand anybody picking Josh Allen because I feel like you take him off of that team, and what are the Bills doing? I feel like if you take Lamar Jackson off of the Ravens, their entire offense changes and they're not the same team. So if I'm going by the guy who is literally carrying the entire team on his shoulders every week this year, it has to be Joe Burrow. Usually that guy would be Josh Allen. And I've told you that throughout his career, that's all Josh Allen has done. He's had some weaker competition to play against this year, Josh Allen. I feel like I don't feel like they've had to go through the gauntlet. What I feel like Joe Burrow has had to go through is the gauntlet
Burrow
of
is
having
for his life.
the worst defense probably in the NFL, horrendous special teams play,
Terrible coaching.
terrible coaching, mediocre, if not bad, offensive line play.
Sacked 8 times
The-
today.
Can we today point in example? There is a minute 29 left in the game. They are at the 2-yard line. Denver has 1 timeout remaining. Second down. Instead of taking a knee to make Denver use that last timeout and then either kicking the game-winning field goal from 10 yards out or trying to run it in again on 3rd down, they scored the touchdown, gave Denver a minute 29 with a timeout. Denver went down the field, took it to overtime, and even in overtime, Cincinnati, Joe Burrow had to fight his entire team to get that win.
It was a fireable offense. If Cincinnati had lost this game, it would have been a fireable offense. Ray was 100% right. Zach Taylor should have been fired for his decision making at the end of regulation. And really, he should just be fired because his team stinks. And Joe Burrow is the only good thing about it to go with the couple of good receivers that he has, along with Mike Gesicki, who
Except
there
that
should be an award. There should be some kind of award. By the way, Waretown native, by the way, Mike Gesicki. There should be some kind of award for what he's done for them this year, opening up that passing game in the middle of the field. And 10 catches today for 80 yards or whatever it was. Huge performance.
Shout out Chase Brown. He only started starting, I think, like week 8, week 7.
Yeah,
and he cleared 1,000 yards in that time. Like, having a monster second half of the year.
Proved that he could carry the entire load. That was the reason they signed Zach Moss to begin with, is because they didn't trust him. And I would trust him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as the Joe Burrow guy here, you guys have said it all perfectly for me. Yeah, it's him. He is him. He is the MVP. You can make all the arguments you want for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, all you want, but it's the bias of a schedule that's gonna probably lose Joe Burrow the MVP, and it's not even close. What that guy's doing is next level.
I mean, because he's gonna have to play. He's gonna fight for his life next week because they need to win to get in. He's gonna clear. He's gonna almost touch 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns.
If he gets to those numbers and then make the playoffs, he should win MVP.
Hands down.
Bottom line.
So my MVP pick has changed over the last week, actually. I had Josh Allen as my MVP, and I have changed that. He did not play well against the Patriots, and that kind of takes a hit to your MVP status a little bit, especially with 2 games left. Or he could be right back up and secure it pretty much over the last 2 weeks. I definitely hate being an MVP voter this year. I mean, it's almost impossible to pick between Allen, Burrow, and Lamar. I think it'll be easier because if the Bengals don't make the playoffs, Burrow will not win it no matter what, and he still may not win it no matter what as it currently stands. I think the MVP will be Lamar Jackson for the 3rd time back to back. The season that he's having this year is light years better than the MVP season that he had last year. I still don't know why he shouldn't have won it last year.
He shouldn't have won it last year.
He shouldn't have won it last year. Should have went to Dak. But this year it should go to him. It's just the numbers are too ridiculous for me. Yeah, Joe Burrow's numbers for passing is through the moon. I mean, no one's even touching him right now. Lamar Jackson's passing numbers are the 2nd best in football, right behind Joe Burrow, but then he's adding 800 yards rushing and then adding X amount of rushing touchdowns on top of his 39 passing touchdowns, and he has less turnovers than all of them. He has half the turnovers that Burrow does this year. It's some of the best pure dual threat quarterback play the league has ever seen. I mean,
it's actually the best.
I was about to say he just broke Michael Vick's all-time rushing yard record. He is the best dual threat quarterback the NFL has ever seen. And
he is.
And I would like to dial this back. I'm sure there's a fantasy football chat that when the draft happened and this draft class came out, and I'm quoted as saying that, end quote, Lamar Jackson will be the best quarterback out of that draft class, end quote.
Yep. I agreed with you, and you did end up being right about that. Now he needs to win. That
Sure.
three. If he wins his third MVP and a Super Bowl, yeah, then he's the greatest mobile quarterback of all time, and it's not even
Three
close.
MVPs and a Super Bowl win, you're going to Canton.
Oh, oh yeah,
Well,
he might be going there anyway.
I think he's going to Canton anyway. He's a
Yeah,
two.
he's going. The two-time MVP is going anyway.
He broke Michael Vick's all-time rushing yards leader. He'll probably break Cam Newton's quarterback rushing touchdown record. Like he's going to Canton no matter what. If he never won again, he's going to Canton.
My favorite stat of his is the 4 interceptions. That's awesome.
It's
Yeah,
amazing. It
amazing.
really is.
He doesn't turn the ball over at all.
And the completion percentage and all that kind of stuff, the play in the pocket, all that stuff has gotten better over the years. Those were the big knocks on him.
Yeah. Now there's no knocks. He's playing perfect football. All right, so I'll be the odd man out. That's okay. Coach of the year. Who we got for coach of the year?
There's one answer and one answer only in my eyes, and he should have been the coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Took a 5-12 team to a 10-6 team.
And they're now in the playoffs.
12 They're 12th in the league in total for offensive touchdowns, 15th in the league in points per game. But the defensive side is where they're number one in red zone defense, number one in scoring defense, 12th in overall total defense, 9th in pass defense. Like, this dude took a team that was allergic to winning and allergic to winning in the playoffs to they're in the playoffs. They were a bottom feeder in the AFC West. They're now number 2 in the AFC West. I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs.
100% agree. That's my pick. If your team, if you had an owner that was unsure about your head coach going into last offseason and you knew and you saw Jim Harbaugh was available and you didn't make a phone call to somebody, okay? I'm not even saying tampering. You didn't even make a phone call to somebody to see whether or not he would even be interested. Biggest missed opportunity last offseason was Jim Harbaugh.
Sell the team.
Egregious. Every team should have been clamoring, stumbling over each other the same way that baseball teams were over Juan Soto. And teams better be doing that again this offseason when it comes to Mike Vrabel, because that's Bill Parcells Jr. And whoever gets him wins the offseason. I don't care what players you sign. Whoever gets that guy wins the offseason.
My vote is for Dan Campbell.
I love that pick too.
Yeah, I mean, just to have a team. Listen, they're obviously a great team, but he motivates his guys. The amount of people injured on that team and to have continued success with your legs getting cut out from underneath you every week, you have to be a phenomenal coach. I mean, for me, it was either him or Tomlin. Tomlin's moving into one of the greatest head coaches of all time, like conversation.
He's got 3 straight losses right now, though. I agree with you.
Yes, but in his overall tenure as a head coach, he's never had a losing record.
It's insane.
It's like that is legendary stuff.
Yeah.
And how many Super Bowls does he have? 2?
He has 1.
The 1. So yeah, I mean he's moving into there. But for this year, my coach of the year is Dan Campbell.
That's right. And you know what? A lot of credit has to go to Aaron Glenn. And Aaron Glenn is going to get a head coaching job. He's been linked to New Orleans. He played there. I would love to see him get a shot as a head coach.
Yeah, I think both of those coordinators are going to be head coaches next year.
So I kind of want to reiterate with the MVP. I hate to be a voter this year. There's plenty of coaches that deserve this award. Dan Campbell being one of them. Mike Tomlin probably not so much anymore with the third straight loss. Um, Jim Harbaugh absolutely being one of them. For me, it's Kevin O'Connell for the Vikings. I feel like not enough people are talking
That's a
about the
good pick.
Vikings. They are tied with Detroit for the best record in the NFC. They have 12 wins. What O'Connell has done for Sam Darnold, for that team in general, over the last ever since he
QB
got
with
there, he is now the new quarterback whisperer. O'Connell develops any quarterback pretty much that gets there. That team has been nothing but successful since he got there, but they really took a step this year, especially with adding Brian Flores to their defensive staff. That was a very smart decision. Um, I think the Vikings in general are just a team that no one is talking about, and I think a lot of people don't even realize they have 12 wins. I mean,
I think the case for Harbaugh is stronger than the other candidates, and let me explain why. You just said it. Great supporting coaches for the Lions, great supporting defensive coordinator for the Vikings. We know how good he is, and great supporting cast for most of these guys. Jim Harbaugh, do you know who his coordinators are?
no.
This man is the CEO of that team.
doing it himself.
That's why, in my opinion, I feel very strongly it has to be him. I understand the argument for the other guys. I think those are stronger staffs. I think he's just a better coach.
I mean, Minnesota, they were a pretty good team last year.
They
I
were.
I
He is
like
the OC too, though. Like it's his offense. So the OC is just a clipboard holder there. It's his offense. He calls the plays. Yeah, I mean, I just think, obviously wins don't matter because we saw Daboll, that horrible fat piece of tub. You know what?
But you know what? He should have
fat
won it that
piece.
year.
You know what? He should have won it that year because he took the Giants out of nothing. So Jim Harbaugh probably is more deserving. I just think the NFL will look at what this guy did with Sam Darnold, and especially if they win the division over the Lions, I could see them giving the coach of the year to O'Connell. But Jim Harbaugh obviously is right up there as well.
Fair enough.
Offensive player of the year.
Saquon.
Now, I say this one is more of it's not the QB award like the MVP is.
No.
So, Saquon's up there having a monster year, 1,800 yards, double digit tutties. But I'm Jamar Chase is having a monster season offensively. As of today, 117 catches, 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns. Like, I mean, you can
Incredible.
either way you shake it. It's either Saquon or Jamar. I'm going with Jamar on this.
That's fair. You could argue that Saquon's production has everything to do with the Eagles' offensive line, and you'd be right. So in that case, maybe it is Chase.
I he
Or you could say the same thing though.
with Burrow,
Chase has Joe Burrow throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
Right. Saquon doesn't have Joe Burrow. He has a really solid running game
For
and a
me, it's
solid running quarterback.
for me, it's Saquon. What he has done for the Eagles has been monstrous. Having a career year, has the ability to break the record. I mean, 1,800 rushing yards. He should have way more touchdowns too, but they were just vultured by them throwing Jalen Hurts over the goal line. So
That's also true.
And shout out to Saquon for him, Derrick Henry, and Josh Jacobs for
Resetting.
revitalizing
running back position.
the running
Yeah.
back value and what a running back means to a
Yeah.
team.
Completely agree.
Because every single one of them was passed on to re-sign with their team because the running back value, you could thank Le'Veon Bell for tanking it, was
Yes.
lower than anything. And You could find a starting running back in the NFL in sixth round, or you could find them bagging groceries at your local HEB. Um, but when
True.
you have when you're talking elite talent carrying the ball, that's what elite talent is.
It's a really good point, and we saw over the course of this year the league become more balanced, and teams really start to pound the rock more, and the power running game start to make a resurgence. And
It's
why?
back,
Because
back.
defenders are getting smaller. How do you play against smaller defenses? You go to power offense. So I agree. The market will change, and I'm really curious to see where Gentry goes in the draft.
Ashton Genty's going in the top 5.
It's very possible because if you have one of these teams that is going to want to just pound the rock next year, maybe they're about to lose a running back in free agency. They don't want to pay him. They think there's a lot of tread. Exactly.
Listen,
The
if
Raiders.
the Raiders stay at 6 overall this year because we fucked up and had the win against Jacksonville. Sitting at 6, sign me up. Go ahead.
And I would understand that move because you're building a power offense with the picks that you made previous, right? We have
Yep.
Brock Bowers, you have the kid Mayer, which if he's part of the future, great. Now you have Power I. Now
Yeah.
you have now you what grab a fullback and let's go get John Gruden and let's run it back again, right? I mean, uh, who says no? Who
Yeah,
says no?
not me. Right?
Saquon.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, it's Saquon. It's especially if he breaks the record, and I know that Dickerson did it in 14 games, and everybody's going to throw their hands up in the air about that. It's still a ridiculous record, and we've had years and years and years of franchise backs not break it, so it would
Dickerson
be
did that in 14 games.
yeah,
Oh my God.
insane.
Yeah.
Really, when you think about it, insane.
No,
So
no
yeah,
one
when it was
talks
broken
about
originally, it was done in 16 games, and people had something to say about that. So yeah, there's going to be an asterisk or whatever if he breaks it. I don't care. It's still an MVP or Offensive Player of the Year caliber year for Saquon, and he should probably win it.
Yeah, I agree. Rookie of the year. What do we got for rookie of the year?
14
Yeah,
games.
if you break it down, the yards per game, it's absolutely insane what he did.
I have to do that now, so hang on. Um,
No one talks about Dickerson as one of the greatest running backs ever, and it's
No, everybody talks about everybody else other than him, but he still holds that record.
yeah. They talk about Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, and listen, rightfully so.
I'm
But
always going to say Walter Payton and Jim Brown, but
and Jim
Eric
Brown,
Dickerson's right there.
yeah,
150 yards per game.
That's crazy.
for 14 straight games.
And back then, when they used to clothesline people at the line of scrimmage, I mean, it's not even the same game anymore.
Yeah.
My God. That's pretty incredible. So are we all right? So offensive rookie of the year
Yes.
or defensive player of the year? You want to touch defense?
You should
Well,
go
no,
defensive.
I
We just did offensive player of the year, right? So
yeah,
we
we
should
did
do
offensive player of the year. Let's do defensive player of the year. That's fine.
I mean,
Ray, who do you think? Who's defensive player of the year?
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt?
Me
TJ
too.
Watt.
I got
Because
TJ
he should have
Watt.
won last year too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
TJ Watt, 11 sacks, 61 total tackles. He's a game changer. He's
Just a monster. If any of you guys aren't watching the Hard Knocks AFC North,
Oh, it's amazing.
it's one of the best, hands down, they've ever done.
It is the best product they've ever come out with,
Ever.
in my opinion.
Because you're getting multiple angles and like what a division to start with too. Like that division is so legendary and so history ridden. And like the way you see these guys talk about like Like you're not a Raven until you beat the Steelers. Like I never knew that. That was incredible. That was so cool.
I'm sure they talk about it the same way all these other teams. I'm sure they say that. I'm sure they do
Yeah.
because that's look, every one of these games is a body bag game. It's
Yeah.
insane.
So when you look at it like from under a microscope and you see the difference that TJ Watt is making on the Steelers in on the field, off the field, in the locker room, he's a caliber of player not seen often. And yeah, he's my defensive player of the year without a question.
Zach, you agree?
Yeah, I had DJ Watt easily. He's been the best edge rusher all year. I mean, Myles Garrett's been very good, but he's been a little bit hurt lately. So for me, it's TJ Watt because he should have won it last year. I said it last year too. So um offensive rookie of the year.
Bo
Um,
Nix.
Bo Nix.
you know what? After today, you might be right. It's very, very I think it should be closer than it is. I'm still gonna go with Jaden Daniels because of where Washington was last season.
That's
Um,
fine.
picking second overall, and he's probably going to take them to the playoffs in the NFC. Um, because as of right now,
It should be Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers.
You know what? You know what, Pete? You actually you might be right. It might be it.
101 receptions.
Yeah.
1,067 yards. He is a few
The best
yards
tight end.
shy of the rookie tight end receiving record. And he's 4 catches away from the NFL rookie receptions record. And he's got 2 games left to do it. He's going to blow those numbers out of the park and doing it with Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and the guy that played in Atlanta for
Yeah.
a quick second.
Bad news bears or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Generational talent. I'm sorry.
You know what? I retract my pick. It is Brock Bowers. I apologize.
I will not retract.
No.
I will not apologize.
Of course you wouldn't. You can't wait to have Cam Ward as your quarterback.
I can't wait to have anybody. Yeah, like I said, for me, it's Jaden Daniels. Washington was picked second overall, was in the literal hell of the NFL. No hope whatsoever. Owner just sold the team. All these scandals, lawsuits, everything. Them picking him, he completely changed the direction of the franchise, completely changed the culture of the franchise, and is about to lead them to the playoffs for the first time in years. To me, it's not close.
It's also a good case for Dan Quinn to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, also a good case for Dan Quinn. I think Bo Nix has shocked a lot of people. I don't think anybody thought he would be this good and this NFL ready.
No.
Especially coming in as
Ray called it.
Ray did call it. He came in as an upperclassman, a little bit older. But he's making a big case for it, and he does deserve some recognition for it. But that loss today is huge for Denver because they're trying to make the wild card, and they did not clinch that with that loss today to Cincinnati. If they had won, maybe I'd change my pick a little bit, but we'll see. But for me, it's Jaden Daniels.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Defensive rookie of the year. For me, it's Quinyon.
The Philadelphia Eagles secondary. It's either Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean.
I'm going to go with Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Mitchell. DeJean just hasn't made enough of an impact.
I agree.
I hate that.
I mean, Quinyon Mitchell, 32 tackles, 11 pass deflections. Cooper DeJean, 34 tackles, 6 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles completely remade their secondary in this draft. And
in one draft.
In one draft. They hit on both. I hate them. I hate them.
Cam Moore didn't play the second half of this game, by the way.
Okay. Shador's still playing, I believe, right?
So Miami head coach will not explain why he only played the first half of the Pop Tarts Bowl.
Did
Listen,
you see the halftime show of the Pop Tarts Bowl?
that's
No,
the
I missed it.
greatest thing.
Oh my
The
god!
greatest thing I've ever seen in college football history. I'm sorry. And it was the best kind of Pop-Tart too, the hot fudge sundae one.
Oh, that one is good.
I will die on that hill. That will be a premier meal at Casa de Barba in Manchester. Pop-Tarts.
Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah. Anytime you're getting Pop Tarts and you're getting Pyro Show.
He's right.
Comeback player of the year, right? Next.
Comeback player of the year is next, yes.
J.K. Dobbins.
Without a question, J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, you know what? I would agree. Back-to-back horrendous knee injuries. Kind of came back and played today. Yeah, I'll give it to J.K. Dobbins because really, who else is there that's coming off?
Can I say Joe Burrow?
It could be Burrow. You could still say Rodgers because he's about to become the Jets' all-time leader in passing yards.
You know what? That's true. You could say Rodgers if he breaks these kind of records, but I mean, they probably. I mean, I don't know. They may.
It shouldn't be him. It should be Dobbins or what's his face?
Maybe they give Burrow comeback player of the year
Burrow.
as a sorry we didn't give you MVP. We'll give you this.
Burrow missed all of last year.
No,
he played some of it, and then
so that's why I have a hard time giving him that award.
yeah,
he was messed up with the hamstring to start, and then he blew his wrist out.
Right. We talked about this. They rushed him back. They shouldn't have done it. He tried. I mean, I understand it. You wanted to play, but I can't give him that award.
Yeah, agreed.
And then I'm going with Rodgers.
Okay, he might win it.
I mean,
You think they pause the game when he breaks the record?
Should they? Yeah,
No.
probably. Congratulations, Jet fans. This is your new all-time single-season passing yards leader, and he had a horrific year by his standards.
Yep. At 41.
Yeah.
They should have him run out with the American flag.
Just to recreate it.
They're not careful. They're going to be carrying him off in one.
Oh, God. That's terrible. All right.
Resolutions.
New Year's resolutions going into 2025. Start it off there, Pete.
I mean, just win, baby. How about that? How about that? Your mantra of your entire franchise, just win, baby. How about just get a coach, just get a quarterback, just put together a team that's feasible on the football field. I am tired of being in the basement, trying to climb out of the hole from the basement to actually enjoy football again. I joked about it all year about me being the Detroit Lions supporter because you know what? It sucks for the past 20 years to not be able to watch a football franchise on a Sunday and not have your day ruined or just not even like why bother watching? Because you know what? We can't even lose properly. We were there. First overall pick. Shador wanted to be a Raider. What are we doing?
Now
Send out Desmond Ritter and let him throw left-handed. Like, come on. Like, Antonio Pierce, goodbye. It was a nice story. Mike Vrabel, I'll see you in 2025. Tom Brady needs to get Mark Davis a new hairstylist and he needs to just show him how to win and put together a winning football team.
My resolution is I am thinking about writing a letter every week to the New York Jets organization demanding that the Johnsons either sell the team or simply name their sons the owner of the team since they're the ones running it anyway, so that we can just get the entertainment, just full-blown entertainment out of that we can. They need to go away. The Johnsons need to go away. I don't know how it happens, whether what's his face is going over, Woody Johnson's going over to UK again. I don't know. They need to go away. They need to stop showing their faces in front of the camera. They need to stop talking to people. They need to hire people. They need to put them in place, and they need to go into their own darkness retreat for a very long time or sell the team. So my resolution is once a week, I'm going to pen a letter to the Jets demanding that. Also, for the first time since 2009, one of my teams made a championship game in their respective sport. Somehow, I'd like to see that trend continue. If it's the Yankees, perfect. They're the only ones that I think I have any hope in to deliver a championship anyway. So go Yankees. Can't wait for baseball to start already. And I hope everybody a blessed and healthy new year with you and your fam. And that's all I got.
Oh,
Peace.
also, Dano, congratulations. Congratulations on the engagement right there.
Thank you.
Shout out to that.
Thank you. And congratulations to you and Steph, Pete. You guys are just announced that you're expecting officially on the socials. So congratulations to you guys as well.
Yep. Listen, big year, 2025 for us.
Yep. Let's go.
Let's go.
My resolutions, and I think Ray will very much appreciate what I'm about to say here, and this is worthy of saying it. My resolution for this year is fucking fix it. Okay? That right there.
Clip it. Clip it right there.
Since 2015, the Giants have had the single worst record in all of football, ranked 32nd in total points. Get people in here to fix this once great franchise. Celebrated 100 years this year for the Giants. I was there opening day with Steph and the fam, ready to watch history, and they crapped it down the toilet.
Season was over.
Season was over right then and there. I do not want a bridge quarterback. I am tired of the Band-Aids. Get Shedeur Sanders in the building or Cam Ward in the building. They will be picking first overall for the first time since 1965.
They're going to pick a tackle.
They're going to go winless at home for the first time since 1976. They will, if they lose tomorrow to the Colts, who are now still in the playoff hunt, they're going to lose the rest of the way. They will.
I am praying.
Let me finish.
I love you. I'm praying that they win.
They're not winning. They're never winning another game. It's not happening. Brian Daboll needs to be fired. Joe Shane needs to be fired. Get a quarterback in here. Get a coach who knows how to run a team. Get a general manager that knows how to build a team. This was supposed to be a premier franchise for the National Football League. 4 Super Bowl victories, 100 years of history, one of the 4 original NFL teams, and they have been the worst team in the league for a decade. Fucking fix it. Other than that,
well done.
I want everyone to have a happy and healthy 2025. 2025 seems to be the prime year. Me and Steph are moving in together in 2025. Very excited for that. We are getting peak comic book movies back in 2025. Superman's coming back. Captain America's coming back. Peak video games in 2025. GTA 6. So listen, 2025 might be the year, folks. It just might be the year. 2024 was just a stopgap year. Now we're on to the main event. Other than that,
The plague is going to come back in 2020.
why would you ever say things like that?
Mr. Eternal Optimist has to cap that one off with the plague is coming back. Ray, before you cap off this great episode, I forgot, as part of my New Year's resolution, I am going to start putting way more of my emotional stock into that team right there. They play on Wednesday. You might want to catch them.
Your future national champion, Texas Longhorns.
Good.
Yo, Dan, do me a favor. Pull out your revolver and fire it off right now into the ceiling.
Do that.
All right, all right, all right.
Raymond.
Well, that was a round of incredible resolutions. I've already started my new resolution with not saying one single profane word this entire podcast.
Beautiful.
Yeah, kudos to me.
Beautiful.
Some of you have failed miserably, not this guy.
I meant to fail.
Mine is to not be embarrassed by New York sports anymore.
Okay.
I'm sick and tired of being embarrassed by New York sports. Unfortunately, the Rangers are going to tragically destroy and derail that January 1st. It's going to just continue to be miserable. But things are looking up. So I'm hoping in the 2025 seasons for the Rangers, the Giants, the Yankees, that I could proudly wear New York sports clothing and apparel. Proudly.
Amen.
That's my resolution.
Your lips to God's ears.
Amen.
It's a beautiful.
Amen. Just beautiful. Man, just give you round of applause here, folks.
And you know what? Listen, I think everybody else that are viewing and listening need to make a resolution. A resolution to like, subscribe, and follow at Dawg Talk Sports on the IG, on the YouTube channel, on Spotify. Do it. What are you scared?
What are you scared?
You scared?
Why not? Here we go. All right, with that, we're going to wrap things up here for this evening. Catch the end of this last foosball game that I'm sure is terrible. Because
Kyler Murray is bad at football.
Kyler Murray is atrocious. We'll talk about a bad contract for a quarterback. Good Lord. He should have stuck with baseball. But thank you guys so much for watching, listening. The Quad Pod was phenomenal tonight. We were back.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Here, everybody. And let's hope 2025 things.
No plague. I was just kidding.
Yeah, you know what? No plague.
Yeah.
Don't need any of that.
No plague.
Peace out.
Peace.
Hoorah!
Out.